Alright, the first thing we want to do is open up Photoshop. So go ahead and open up Photoshop and pause this recording until you have Photoshop open. Alright, so now that Photoshop is open, we're going to create a new document. So we're going to go File, New, and we're going to call this PSAnimeVid 1FL. Long name, I know. For the preset, I want you to make it film and video. And let's start off with the smaller screen. So we're going to go with NTSC DV. That'll give us 720 pixels wide, 400 pixels high, and a resolution of 72. And we're using the RGB color mode. Alright, so that's all selected. Again, just to double check, the name is PSAnimeVid 1FL. Film and video is the preset. NTSC DV, which is just standard sized video, is going to be our size, frame size. Click OK. And click OK to that as well. Alright, now we have a background layer. This is going to be our background layer. On this background layer, you can go ahead and draw or bring a picture in for your background, and this will be the background that shows for the whole video. We'll worry about the background after you come up with your idea for your actual animation, and this will be an animated video instead of a frame-by-frame animation that we did to make a GIF. This is going to be a 5-second video animation that you're going to make, and it's going to be just colorful and abstract and just a blobby mess of colors and blobs shooting around. Okay, so I'm going to start with a white background, and I need to go ahead and turn on the timeline for video. So I'm going to go up here to Window, and I want to come down to Timeline, and now we're going to create a video timeline. Create a video timeline. Instead of the frame video, we're going to stay with the video. Instead of a frame animation, we're going to do a video animation. So video timeline is what we want. So click that, and we have one layer, our background layer. We have an audio track as well, but we don't have any audio yet, and probably on this project we won't. And we have 5 seconds of video. So in order to see that a little bit better, because it's pretty small right here, we're going to come down here to the slider, and we're going to just drag that to the right, right about there. So what we're looking at on the timeline is 5 seconds of video broken down into, in my case, 10 frames increments, 10 frame increments. So every 30 frames is a second, so we've got 10, 20, 1 second, 10, 22 seconds, 10, 23 seconds, 10, 24 seconds, 10, 25 seconds. That's 150 frames to do our animation. It's purple because it's a background layer. It's not a video layer yet. And so this layer would be the one that you would draw your background on. It would be static. It won't move, whatever you put here. Now, we need a new layer that would be our animation layer. So I'm going to come up here to Layer, and I'm going to come down to Video Layers, and I want to create a new blank video layer. New blank video layer. So you see where I'm at? Layer, Video Layers, New blank video layer. I click that, and on my Layers panel over here, I have 2 layers now, and it has a little icon in the corner that shows that it's a film strip. And notice the color is blue now, and it's checkerboard, it's clear. So whatever we put here is going to be against the checkerboard background for the layer, so whatever contents we have below it we'll see, in this case a white background. Now what I want to do is start my animation here, but there's a few settings we have to put in place first before we can get started. We have to come over here to the timeline settings, and we want to make sure that we have a check next to enable shortcut enable timeline shortcut keys, so click that. So you see we have that. And then we also want to enable onion skins. So when I go back and open up those options, I have 3 checks there. Check your neighbor, make sure they also have the 3 checks there for enable timeline shortcut keys, enable auto grouping of clips, and enable onion skins. We want all 3 of those checks right there. Okay? Now, let's take a look at our timeline. It's a little bit different from the frame animation that we did. We have a playhead now, and this playhead, we can move it through all the frames. I like calling this scrubbing because you could just grab on this blue playhead here and just move it back and forth to go frame by frame. If you're playing around with this right now, make sure when you're ready to start that you have the playhead all the way to the left at frame 1, at the very beginning. You wouldn't want to start your animation here by accident. Okay, so make sure you are all the way to the left. Everybody check your neighbor to make sure their playhead is all the way to the left. I just wanted you to see how you can move it around, and we'll go back to that in just a second. So I'm going to open up under image here. I'm going to open up my brushes. I'm going to go to my presets. I'm going to pick a nice little glowy worm here, and remember, if you need to add any brushes, just go to the brush library here and go in and add the brushes that you want from this list. And when you do add a brush, make sure you click append so that you add it to the bottom and you don't get rid of any of your other brushes. So I'm going to go right here and click on this one. It's going to paint whatever colors in your foreground, which is right here or right over here. And I'm just going to start by painting just a little glowy blob of green over here. And now on my keyboard, if you look down at the keyboard, you have arrows next or between your QWERTY keys and your number pad. There's some arrows. There's a left and a right arrow. If you click the right arrow once, your playhead will move to the second frame, and what you see on the screen will be an onion skin of the previous layer. In other words, it'll be kind of, the opacity would be set down a little bit so that you could see what was on the previous layer and be able to continue doing your animation to flow across the screen or whatever you're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and make my blob move over to here on the next frame. Then I'm going to hit the right arrow. Notice that the first frame disappeared, second frame is now an onion skin layer, and I can just draw the third, hit the right arrow again, and I'm just moving now through the frames. Again, 30 frames a second, 5-second video is going to be 150 frames. That means you're going to have to click that arrow 150 times for the full 5 seconds. Alright, so I'm just going to continue to move my little blob across the screen, and this is completely for demonstration, is not meant to be a guide of what you're going to actually do, because you're going to make yours much more creative. I could also, if I wanted to, start I could add a blob over here, let's say, and have something else happen over here on the same frame. And maybe on this one I'm going to go like that. Hit the right. I'm on the next frame now. You can see on the playhead I'm moving. And maybe now over here this is going to spread out even more. Okay, hit the right arrow. Again, you're going to be, oops, I think I went too many times. Let me go back. You're going to be way more creative than I am right now, right? And hit the right arrow and add some more. Those are going to keep spreading out. Still not even at a second of animation yet. I'm only at like frame 18 or so. Yeah, frame 18. Look down here on the corner and you can see where your frames are. So I'm at frame 18, not even to 1 second yet. Alright. Oops, forgot to draw. Oops, go back. Oops, I'm lost. What did I do? Oh my god. Let's bring that back. And line myself back up. Right there. Okay, so got me back. I'm still on 18. Anyway, I think you're starting to get the point here. You've got a lot of drawing to do right now, though. All right, so I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to show you what you can do if you want to take a little break and watch your animation. You can use the scrubber and just kind of scrub back and forth and watch what happens. Or you can put the playhead back to the left to 0, and you actually click play on the timeline, and of course it's going to just play those 5 seconds of video, which I only have less than a second of, so boom. But you get the idea that by the time you get to the end, you're going to have quite a cool little colorful, abstract, blobby, messy animation to show off. You can add more layers too. If you do want to add another layer on top of this, you can just by going up to Layer, Video Layers, New Blank Video Layer. Now you have 3 layers that you could work on. Be careful though. Make sure you click on the layer you want to draw on. So you could actually make pretty amazing animation with this technique. I'm going to go ahead and just make my timeline pan a little bit bigger so I can see all my tracks, because I've got an audio track, I've got a background layer, I've got 2 layers of animation or video, and this is as creative as I want it to be. You are all now animators, and you have a really cool tool here to create animation with. So spend the rest of the class working on this. I just want to let you know that when you're done and ready to export this, you will go up and click File and Export, and you want to go to Render Video. File, Export, Render Video. File, Export, Render Video. You're going to click that. We're going to wait here. And the name is, this is going to be an MP4, so this is the format that YouTube likes. It's going to be in the folder that you select, so make sure you click here and select your folder on West Media, whatever period you're in. And the format we're going to use is H.264. There's really nothing you got to do in here except go out here and click Render. When you click Render, it's going to create your video, and you will have PSAnimeVid 1 FL.mp4 in your folder, and you will upload that to WebStarts to your animation page. And again, you could also put this on YouTube, because MP4 is a video format that plays really well on the web. Alright, so enjoy this project. It's a fun one.